welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Yeah, it is Friday, baby. Happy Friday. You know what that means. Sit back, relax, strap on that seatbelt, leave the driving to us. I hope you got, let's have a great day, right? Let's have a great day, a great weekend. You know why I'm so excited? Because I'm going on vacation. Yep, I will be off next week. Jason will be running the ship. We're going to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Why? I don't know. Why not? Dolly World. We're gonna watch midget wrestling. Oh yeah, we're gonna see all the sights. My brothers are coming. My mom. You know, we did this thing last year in Myrtle Beach, and decided, you know, hey, that wasn't so bad. And we're going to do it again this year and see how it goes. We're pretty excited. I'm kind of like half out the door already, but yeah, I'll let you know. I'm pretty excited about it. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And, of course, for those of you, hey, what do you do? You know, physical delivery of wealth insurance, gold and silver. It is what we do. Why do you do it? It's simple. Simple. Protect what you've already earned. Today, I got a cool thing. We're going to go back in time. Yeah, you know what? Like Back to the Future. But we're going to the past, 1995, and look at what middle class was compared to what it is today. And it was shocking to me how much has changed since just 1995 and how much more expensive it really is to be able to be considered middle class in the United States anymore. This is the problem. This is what inflation does. This is what fiat money does. It just does. It's actually working exactly how it's supposed to. At the end, it's very simple. You have a small group of very wealthy, and then everybody else. You know, Jason likes to call it lords and peasants, and we're speeding towards it. That's the thing, you know. With fiat, it's always gradual, right? Think about it. You know, since 1933, it was gradual. The first 50, 60, 70 years. Not so gradual anymore. I always like to say, how did you go bankrupt? Well, it was gradual at first. And then it was all of a sudden, by the way, a big election in Japan this weekend. Yeah, are you kidding me? I got to talk about Japanese elections, yeah. Yeah, that's the world we live in. It's important. Big election in Japan this weekend. It is forecasted that the president will lose the House in Japan. So kind of like, think about like midterm elections here, and, you know, right now the Republicans got control, and then the Democrats get control of the House and the Senate, right? That type of a thing. But they say that this may have significant impacts on the Japanese bond market. Remember, that's the thing that started the latest bond market scare. So all eyes will be on that election, and we'll have to see if and what the results are going to be on the debt markets. On top of that, Russia now is announcing it is going to launch its own gold trading platform and completely sever ties with the London Exchange, the London Bullion Market Exchange. And I think this is part of the plan, right? We talk about BRICS. China's already done this. Now Russia following suit and saying that it will now do the same. And when you think about it, we're starting to see the major gold holders and the major gold buyers trying to consolidate power when it comes to where the price for gold will be set. Right now, the price for gold, listen, spot gold pricing is set in London, period. In the United States, we have futures contracts. But the actual spot price is in London. That's why I like look, we'll do it today. Here's a great example. Gold's up. Spot price, $3,355. If you guys turned on the idiot box, I don't care, Fox, CNBC, right, with Bloomberg, you'll see a different price. It'll say 33.61 or 33.62. Why? Well, because we're in July, but in New York, they're trading August gold contracts. So the spot price always being set in London. Something to think about.
Oh, welcome back to the Patriot Radio News Hour. Hey, we're busy dudes. We're getting ready for.
I totally missed it. I thought I had more time.
Yeah, it's silver. Got silver special coming. We're working on it, Joe. So
listen, I'm putting something together. This thing is going to be absolutely off the chain here. Quick look at the market. So we just had something walk through. You know, this is the great thing about Patriot. You know, we've been in this thing 30 years. You never know what's going to come through the door next. Quick look in. The Dow's down 160. The S&P's down 3. The Nasdaq's down 7. The 10-year note, 444. It's kind of waiting. Again, all eyes on Japan. Crude oil up almost $1. We didn't have a great oil inventory report yesterday. Another drawdown. But the EU announcing more oil sanctions on Russia. I don't know if they stick or not. You know, we never know. But if they actually, so they're saying they're doing it, and they're going to target another 105 Russian oil vessels. Oil will go a lot higher if this happens. We'll see. They're saying they're doing it. I don't know. Let's keep our eyes out for that. That'll be another thing for next week. Right now, gold's up 16, 33.56. It's just a matter of time. We need to close above 3,400. We need to do it for 2 days, and guess what? She gone. You know what I'm saying? Silver. Yeah, you guessed it. Back above $38. And I told you yesterday, almost all physical silver is being allocated. The price, whether it's ETFs, maybe it's hedge funds, companies that have a lot of silver, say, in inventory, they're leasing their silver out so companies and banks can actually make physical deliveries that are due. Those lease rates have blown out. What does that mean? That just means they're charging them a fortune to do it. Because why? Because they're like, well, you got nowhere else to go. It's like, you know when there's like a big storm, like a hurricane or something like that, and then they, don't you gouge prices. If you gouge prices, we're going to have a problem. Well, guess what? There's gouging of prices in the silver markets. If you need to go out and lease, we've got a huge, this one, just get ready. Get ready. You've got, I'll give you, you got till the next segment. Everybody get ready. And I'll give you the number. Write it down. 800-951-0592. So now, we talked about Russia today. Saying, hey, you know what? We're done with London. We got our own exchange. Shanghai, heck, they got their own. Shanghai wants it all. Right? They want all the spot pricing power for all commodities in Shanghai. Then a story broke last night about central banks' gold buying. Once again, another 20 metric tons was bought by central banks. Price doesn't matter. But then the story broke that it's much worse than that, in that central banks, which have been, let's face it, they've broken all the records as far as amount of gold bought per year. And think about this. They measure it in metric tons. So 32,150 ounces is 1 ton. Okay, so that's how they measure the gold purchasing. Last year was the third largest expansion ever. So the last 3 years are 1, 2, 3, right? That's how it's going. 1, 2, 3. The largest ever. By the way, it was only 6 tons lower than the second best year and 90 tons lower than the best year. So basically what they're saying is, hey, the last 3 years in a row, they're essentially shattering records and they're all right next to each other. But they said there's a problem. What they're starting to notice is countries are bypassing the international markets. So here's the quote from the World Gold Council. Some central banks, especially in Africa, Latin America, and others, it's always weird, the others, starting to buy gold directly from their, quote, domestic small-scale gold mines. So what are they saying? They're saying, well, they're adding gold, not reporting it, and oh, by the way, we can't even catch them later. Remember Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia didn't tell anybody and doubled their gold holdings. How did we find out? Well, somebody actually figured out, wait a minute, they're buying it on the market and we can see how much gold's going into the country. And we know what they're using domestically, and finally it's, okay, you caught us. You're right, yeah, we bought 250 tons, didn't tell anybody. Shh. Now the World Gold Council say we can't do that because it's domestic. We don't know. Colombia, Tanzania, Zambia, Mongolia, Ecuador, the Philippines, Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, the Chinese, Ghana, right? I mean, 19 central banks, according to the World Gold Council, bought locally and did not disclose what it was that they were purchasing. Central banks are harnessing their massive buying power to do very well by these small-scale miners. Having a credible large-scale buyers like these central banks give them a legal and fair outlet to sell their gold. That all sounds wonderful. But the heart of the story really is there's so much more gold buying going on than what it is they're telling us. I guess that's my point. Here's my point. Why is it that they're so desperate to stock up? I mean, it's crazy. We've never seen this. Never, ever. Right? We're witnessing the unraveling of this round of global fiat. I mean, that's just what it is. It's pretty simple, really, when you think about it. Right? They're making it as they can hold anything they want. Right? They can hold U.S. treasuries. They can hold U.S. dollars. They can hold their own currency, their own treasuries, European currencies and treasuries, Japanese currencies and treasuries, Chinese currencies and treasuries. Right? They got their pick. And you know what they're all picking? Gold. We're seeing central bank surveys that are saying, oh my Lord, 75% are saying we're going to buy gold or are buying gold and we're going to do it and we're going to do it in the next 5 years. Do you know how many said we're going to sell gold? 0. How many times have I told you to be your own central bank? An ounce of gold for every year you've been alive is what you're going to need, period. You got a wife, she's going to need it too. She's going to need it too. I'm going to say this right now. What about silver? Well, I'd have about 65 ounces for every year you buy. You can do it either way, right? Combination of, I don't care. But Jason, it is really interesting because these things just come out. Nobody talks about it. Nobody wants you to know. But now the World Gold Council, who looks like they've hated gold and silver forever, and now what are they saying? Oh man, we got a problem. We truly don't know. And oh, by the way, the rest of the world seemingly wants to break away from the London exchange. And Jason, that always just tells you what? There's a big revaluation coming. That's what usually happens when this type of thing starts happening.
Yeah, because in the East you have, it's been a while since I checked it, but you have lines that last for hours for Chinese people to buy gold. Those people seem to get it, Joe, don't they? Their life isn't quite as comfortable maybe as an American existence right now. And Americans will start getting in line for gold. But why do I get the feeling, Joe, it needs to go up to some ridiculous price before it wakes up the populace, and then that's just not the way to do it. The smartest ones, Joe, are guys that are in the metals program or the customers that just buy from us a little bit at a time. Gold goes up a little bit, they're buying it. Gold goes down a little bit, they're buying it. Gold just keeps on going, and you accrue this, and it's supposed to be savings. And that's just gold and silver is going to be here and be strong for a very, very long. It's going to outlast us, and it's going to be there for yourself, your kids. If you leave it to them, it's where you need to have a part of your portfolio. It's where your savings should be. Everyone needs some little bit of emergency cash sitting aside, but you don't necessarily need $100,000 emergency cash, right? You don't really need that. You put it in gold and silver. Any emergency that requires $100,000, you can sell 401k. You can sell gold and silver to us. You can sell your assets. A medical emergency, the doctor's never collect it right then and there. The hospital will take you in. You have your emergency. They'll let you pay afterwards. So don't have $100,000 sitting in the bank doing nothing except for getting eroded. You have to have it in gold and silver. Silver right now is a great one. Silver looks like it's getting ready to launch, Joe.
Listen, it is launching. It's on the launch pad, like the countdown, right? The burners, the engines, right? The smoke starting to come out. You better be ready to be upper middle class. This is upper middle class. This is what we're going to show you today. Upper middle class 1995. Do you know what you needed to earn to be upper middle class? $68,000 was upper middle class. Do you know what the median household income was? That means you take the richest guy and the poorest guy and you meet in the middle, $34,000. Low end middle class, $22,000. Yeah, that was 1995. 800-951-0592, boy. Don't you wish you go back to 1995? Crazy. I mean, think about it now. 68,000 was upper middle class. Is that even middle class today? Probably lower middle class. If you live in any of the big population centers, you know. Rent, ready for this? Rent was like $500. Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. We told you. We have a huge opportunity in silver. All of these came in sealed cases. So they hadn't seen the light of day. I have one case, 20 rolls. So this is going to be Canadian silver maple leaves, and I don't have to tell you, the Canadian, their silver's awesome. They do a great job. They really do. They put 25 ounces in a roll. So I've got 20 of them. The price, $970. That equates to $38.80. That is way below cost. Cost for me to buy a sealed case of maple leaves right now would be $39.40. So this is going to be $15 below cost. I've only got 20 rolls of them. If you buy 5 rolls or more, you can buy all 20 if you want. We'll take them down to $980 a roll. $980 a roll.
25 ounces per roll.
Yes, 25. That's the key. 25 ounces per roll. Then I've got 2 sealed cases of U.S. Silver Eagles. We're going to sell them by the roll. There's 50 in a roll. Obviously, you buy 25. We'll keep the case sealed for you if you want. $795. $795 on U.S. rolls of Silver Eagles. That's $39.75. Now, let me just give you a little heads up, okay? A roll of silver, regular roll of Silver Eagles, it was going to be over $900. Why? Well, just the cost on a case of Silver Eagles or a roll of Silver Eagles, my cost, $825 a roll. is cost. So at $7.95, you're buying them at what, $25 a roll below cost. And Jason, that's just, again, unheard of times here. This is a jump all over this. Like I said, I'm not even worried about $40 silver. I'm wondering how much over 50 is it going to be? This time next year, I'm going to be thinking, how close? Is it going to be closer to 50 or is it going to be closer to 100? Jump on this. 800-951-0592. You can't go wrong with either one.
What if they want to actually get the sealed case, Joe? Just to go over that. What if they want, because there's 3 sealed cases here, right?
Yeah. Well, 25 rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles, right, in a case. You buy the case, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take $5 a roll off.
And it's a sealed case.
$790.
Sealed case.
$19,750, and we won't open it. It'll be, if you want to open it, that's up to you. Sealed case, U.S. Silver Eagles, $19,750. I mean, that's $20,625 is my cost if I was to buy a sealed case. Way below cost at 800-951-0592. Keep piling it on here. These are incredible opportunities that we are offering to everybody. They are physically in Colorado. Now, it's Friday, so Jason he's really busy Friday. But you can come pick these up on Monday. You can. I mean, maybe you could. If you can sweet talk Jason, and you know what Jason is. Jason's kind of, but maybe you can butter him up a little bit. Maybe he'll let you come in today and get them.
Maybe when Fake News Friday is over at 6 o'clock, I might. If you could be here promptly at 6, maybe I'll get those rolls into your hand, Joe.
All right, there you go. See, look at him. He's already softening up. 800-951-0592. The opportunity to own government hallmarked silver, Canadian or American, at below cost and well below it. That's the crazy part, well below it. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I can sell these back to the wholesalers and get the same amount. Matter of fact, if you buy the volume discount, you buy 5 rolls of Maple Leafs, I actually get to make more selling it back to the wholesaler. I don't want to do that. I'd rather give it to my customers. That's how do you stay in business in this gold? You know the gold is brutal. It's low margins. It's tough to operate in. It's because of stuff like this. This is why we've been around this long. Because you guys always get first shot at being able to buy things that nobody can touch. You can't get these prices, and nobody can do this. Unless they had something walk through the door today. Listen, this just happened. The guy literally walked through the door right as Jason was getting on the air. 800-951-0592. Yeah, so the median rent, $19.95, $5.71. A dozen eggs, 92 cents. A loaf of bread, 89 cents. How about this one? Ground beef, $1.49. Yeah, they've done a great job. Stable prices. Great job, Fed. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Joe and Jason on this Friday, ridiculous Silver Friday. 2 phone lines are open, guys. Get in here. So we got 1 case of maple leafs. There's 20 rolls in a Canadian case because they put 25 ounces in each roll. They're $970, which is $38.80. Spot right now is like, what, 35 and a quarter? Or I mean, sorry, 35. 38 and a quarter, right? And it cost on a Canadian maple leaf $1.25 over spot, which is dirt cheap, by the way. You know, that's really low. But this is way below spot. By the way, if you buy 5 rolls or more, I'll take $5 off. That makes it $9.65. Now you're down to like $38.60. Yeah. At 800-951-0592. And then we got 2 cases of U.S. Silver Eagles also sealed. Now those are the standard, right? 20 ounces in a roll. 25 rolls in a case. $795 for a roll. Cost on a sealed case of U.S. Silver Eagles equates to about $41.25. So you're way below cost here. By the way, if you buy a whole case of the U.S. Silver Eagles, I'll take it down to $790 a roll. $19,750. Right now, I'm selling cases of Silver Eagles for $22,500.
That's a screaming deal on the box. If you want a box of Eagles sealed, this is the day to do it. And we don't get these walking through the door like this regularly, so
no,
that's a great deal. I mean, if you want to get it yourself 500 ounces of silver and put it away and feel all warm and fuzzy inside, then get the box today.
Right, get the box today. If you say the box is a little steep for me, pick up a roll. 800-951-0592. Simon White from Bloomberg today. More bad news in the U.S. Treasury market, saying the breadth of demand for treasuries is a problem. Talking about the foreign buyers continuing to shrink, continuing to disappear, mainly leaving nothing but private buyers and European-based investors, which is probably European insurance companies. That's going to be my guess, right? As the only ones really buying U.S. treasuries, and the data keeps getting worse every month. Less foreign participation, especially from central banks. And the latest rounds of tariff threats from the president is making the situation worse. Jason, this is the thing. We've been talking about this for how long? Look at what these banks are doing. They're buying gold. That's what they're doing. They're saying, no, I could buy treasuries. I could. Nah, instead, give me 32,150 ounces of gold, please. Yeah, I'll take that instead. Why? Because they know. They don't want to be held hostage by the United States. They also know, gosh, look at what Kevin Warr said yesterday. Listen, they want to get rid of Jay Powell. They want to bring the Fed to cut rates to like 1%, and they want to blow up the balance sheet. Why would I want to hold dollars? I mean, the dollar's already having the worst year since 1973. And Jason, it appears things are only going to get worse because that's the situation we're in.
Lower standard of living seems to be the goal of the system. I mean, and it was really great. I mean, I guess I wish in some ways I could have been a World War II vet and Leave It to Beaver in the 1950s and the house and the one husband working. And, I've been watching Leave It to Beaver lately. I remember people criticizing that show, Joe, because that was not reality. People didn't live, actually, they didn't look like. But you know what? It always leaves you with a good feeling. And you know why? Because the biggest problems were is if Beaver was going to get dared by his friends to go jump in the coffee cup on the billboard and get stuck. That was the biggest problems. Those were the problems of the 1950s versus today. I scarcely see a decade that didn't get worse. The 60s, boy, the end of the 60s, I wasn't around for that, but boy, the last movement against the system, the hippies, right? Then the 1970s and all the economic stuff, the petrodollar, all that stuff started. Nixon took us off the gold standard. And then the 80s, well, it looked like a big party, but it was just the federal government spending us into oblivion, stage one. I mean, I got this clip, which if I can clean it up, this guy does the whole thing, Joe. He talks about for the last 45 years, and he hits every single economic thing that happened in the last 45 years to drive us down to where we're at today. So when Joe says it's looking like it's going to get worse, I think that's the plan. More for them, less for us.
Worse isn't, we're not talking worse. We're talking bad.
Scraping bottom.
Next bubble that break. Listen, is the bubble going to break today? No. But it's going to be soon. By the way, one case of U.S. Silver Eagles gone. So we're down to one case. 25 rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. Everything below cost. One case of silver Canadian maple leafs left. That's 20 rolls. So they put 25 ounces in this. That's it. You better hurry. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason wrapping up the week here with the silver giveaway, because that's really what it is. We've got one case, 20 rolls of Canadian maple leafs. Remember, they put 25 ounces in their rolls. $970. That's well below cost. But wait, there's more. If you buy the whole case, you buy all 20 rolls, all 500 ounces, save another $5 a roll, be $19,300 for the case of maple leafs. I had 2 cases of Eagles. I do not have 2 cases of Eagles now. I'm down to one case. Here's the thing. You want the case, you better do it now. If somebody buys a roll, I'm out of the case, right? We got one case. Buy the roll. $795. Again, way below cost. If you buy the case, say $5 a roll, $19,750 for the Silver Eagle. So see, the Maple's a little cheaper, right? $19,300 because they have a less of a premium. The case on the Eagles, $19,750. If you're not in Arizona or Colorado, don't worry. Free shipping if you buy the case. But you got to buy the case, otherwise forget it. 800-951-0592. When we come back, we got the short section of the half-empty cup. We're going to talk tons of Texit. By the way, have you seen it? $1.80.
Texit Friday. Texit Friday.
Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what you're doing. We're going to do it together. I know some of you, I'm too old to be taught new tricks. No, you're not. $995 a seat. As you know, you can only buy 9 seats. You still can get 2 seats for free when you buy 9. Big updates, by the way, starting today. We are wrapping TXC on the Ethereum network. Yeah. Anywhere the Ethereum network is, guess what? You can buy Texit coin now. Holy cow. Told you guys. Told you. Get on the ship here. By the way, the price target for April is $1.09, or August is $1.95.
We're not there yet. We're not
at
August yet. We're not to August.
We're not even to August. We're at $1.80. But by the way, I got somebody whispered in Double Zero, Ken. Yeah, you've got, I don't know, a week, 2 at the most. Well, probably while I'm gone, we're probably going to see $1.95, $2. By the way, in case you want to know, I think the September target's $2.36. Yeah. We're going to hit that way before that. Oh, 10,000 miners will happen, like I said, this week. Incredible. 10,000 miners. We're like a little over 300 miners away. We got all day today and tomorrow. If it didn't fall tomorrow, which I think it will, it'll be falling on Sunday. By the time Jason's on the air Monday, we'll be well over 10,000 miners. We're starting to add 1,000 miners a week. Yes. It's insane, Jason.
It's really a team effort on this thing. It really, I mean, it really feels like the gold and silver company here in Colorado, and I'm sure in Arizona, where we sell you gold and silver, and then when you have to sell it to us, we're working together. This is very much the same thing. If you lose, we lose. But if we win, you win. We're all going to win together. That's what. Joe and I don't want to lose. We're not here to lose.
Big Texan Friday coming up next. Join us. We'll be right back.